time to call me. Still, I was in tremendous conflict. Was Joe in trouble? Had something happened to him inside that bomb site? Should I just stand here or should I get help? I looked at my watch. He'd been gone for 12 minutes. Now 13. I phoned Mrs. Rose, my neighbor, my friend, and babysitter. I yelled over the noise that I was near Citron, that I wouldn't be home until late. I was calling Brady when, as if tapping the keypad had triggered it, another bomb went off. The force of that explosion obliterated every other sound, including my own voice screaming, "Joe!" I broke for the entrance to the pier, but before I reached it, I was stopped by 3 firefighters who blocked my way and pulled me off to the side and out of harm's way. I fought back. "Jesus Christ, I'm a cop! My husband's in there! Give me some help, would you please? I have to find him!" One of the firefighters said to me, "Officer, you can't go in. Not now. Please stand back. Stand there. We'll get him out as soon as we can." The firefighters were doing their best to control an unstable situation, and I didn't hold it against them. I stood where I'd been directed to stand, out of the path of the rescue squads and with a pretty good view of what had been Citron's entrance. I prayed that Joe would walk out onto the sidewalk. Please, God, let Joe be safe. That's what was in my mind when the medical examiner's refrigerated trailer rumbled through an opening in the barricades and parked on the trolley tracks that ran down the middle of the Embarcadero. I turned away from the mobile morgue and looked out over the bay as I called Joe's number again and again, hitting the redial button incessantly and getting no reply. Since Joe wasn't answering, I called my friends and my partner, and I know they heard the terror in my voice. They could do nothing but say, "How can I help?" I said to each, "I'll call you later." And then I was fresh out of lifelines. For the next hour in that horrible, stinking night, I watched as EMTs ran empty stretchers through the museum's shattered entrance and carried bagged bodies out to the sidewalk. There, the dead were lifted into the medical examiner's van. As for the living, firefighters helped some of the blast victims walk out of the museum. Others were carried out on stretchers. I dialed Joe's number. "Joe, answer your phone." This time I thought I heard his ringtone, 5 familiar notes getting louder as EMTs rolled a stretcher through the gate and out toward the curb. I ran toward that stretcher, feeling hopeful and terrified at what I might find. I heard the ringtone again. "Joe?" The face of the man on the stretcher was horribly swollen, bruised, and smeared with blood. His left arm rolled out from under the blanket that covered his body, and I saw the wedding ring I had placed on his finger when we were standing together inside a gazebo facing Half Moon Bay. We'd vowed to love each other in sickness and in health. I gripped his shoulder and said, "Joe, it's Lindsay. I'm here." He didn't answer. Was he alive? I ran alongside his stretcher, stayed with him in the triage area, where he was swiftly assessed and lifted through the open doors of an ambulance. I fumbled for my badge and said hoarsely, "That's my husband. I'm his wife." An EMT nodded and offered her hand and forearm. I got a good grip, and she pulled me inside. Chapter 5. I held Joe's hand as the EMTs gave him oxygen, and I answered their questions about Joe's age, blood type, and occupation. Private security contractor. Despite the police barricades and traffic jams, it was a short, wild ride to the hospital. Joe was brought directly from the ER into surgery, and I took a seat in the waiting room. It was filled with people who had emergencies unrelated to the blast, and there were also friends and the families of those victims who'd been caught in the explosion. The overhead TV in the corner was muted, but there was closed captioning and a crawl at the bottom of the screen. Bomb blast destroys Citron. Death toll rises to 20 dead, 30 injured. No comment yet from police or Homeland Security, but GAR is suspected as the terrorist organization responsible for this bombing. No one has claimed responsibility. There were video clips of the blast, of the crowds, of the traffic, of the EMTs racing toward the disaster. The clips were horrific, and they triggered my own vivid memories of the explosion I had seen and felt. Images that were playing on a closed loop inside my mind. I was watching the TV when another clip came on. A microphone was put up to the incident commander's face. A reporter shouted a question, and the